This original WSRE presentation is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to Pensacola State College Perspectives. I'm Patrice Witten, Executive Director of the College Foundation. Here we take an in-depth look at ways that Pensacola State College is impacting our community and our students. During the next half hour, our topic is going to focus on expanding learning opportunities at Pensacola State and our Collegiate High School in particular. We welcome today Mr. Thomas Leonard, who is District Academic Department Head of Secondary Education and the Director of the Hobbs Center. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you with us
Glad
today.
to be here.
We're going to talk a little bit about something new that you've added for the Collegiate High School. Tell us a little bit about the high school.
Okay, well, the overall mission of the Collegiate High School here at Pensacola State is to give an alternative setting for high school students to attend a regular traditional high school. It is not an alternative school that we might normally think of because of behavioral problems or academic problems, although from time to time we do have students that have had issues in the past, both discipline-wise and academically. But we are a traditional accredited high school located on the campus, main campus of Pensacola State. Our program, our students, when they finish their high school education, receive the same diploma, the state certified diploma that they would at any other accredited high school in the state.
Well, that's interesting. Now, how do they find the Collegiate High School? How do they apply? What causes them to seek the high school out?
Okay. Well, there's several ways. A lot of where we get our prospective students is really word of mouth, believe it or not. Students that have attended before will tell friends. The other ways that we receive students, many times counselors at some of the public high schools will tell them about our program, especially if there's a student who needs to make up additional credits. We have a lot of students that come to us as what we call transient students. Now, those are not full-time students. They're actually students that attend regular public high school, but then come to us to go to night school or possibly summer school. We have a large population during the summer of students from all of the schools within not only Escambia County, but also Santa Rosa County.
Making up those credits so they can graduate in time,
correct.
And they're taking advantage of this opportunity.
Right.
We also have with us today Mr. Joe Kyle. Joe is the coordinator of secondary education here at Pensacola State College. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the eligibility and how does a student become eligible to attend the Collegiate High School? Is there a certain requirement?
Sure, there are a couple. First, we require that the students be at least 16 years of age to start off with. And while we're talking about it, I want to let everyone know also that there's no maximum. We have students that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s that attend our program, and they all think that it's a great program. So, but as I said, one of the criteria is that they have to be 16 years of age or older. We also ask that they have give us a referral letter from their previous school, letting us know that they're leaving or were in good standing when they leave their school to come to us. And we also ask that the students or the prospective student be in the high school, have passed or been promoted to the 9th grade before they come to us.
Well, that's interesting. Now, when do classes run? Is it the regular schedule of classes that one would normally expect?
Our program is a little different, and a lot of, as Mr. Leonard said earlier, that we get students from all the 3 surrounding counties, and our program is a little different in that some counselors or parents or students say it's an accelerated program, but we actually operate on an 8-week term. And of course, some of the other counselors from the other schools say an 8-week semester, but we call it an 8-week term. And we actually we actually have school year-round, actually.
Yes.
Now, during the summer, we have 2 6-week terms, but from August to May, we operate on an 8-week term.
Very interesting. Now, this is gaining in popularity from what I understand. Tell us some of the stories you've heard I've heard some, and I'd like to share those, and you too, Joe. Everybody just chime in.
Well, I think the first thing is that we underwent a major renovation of our facilities this past year. We were very fortunate that we had a local family that gave us a considerable amount of money to renovate the facilities that the high school is located in, and that's actually the Hobbs Center. It's the Raymond B. and Leela Hobbs Center for Teaching Excellence. The Collegiate High School is located in that facility. Along with the renovation of the building, we were able to upgrade our technology so that all of our classrooms, all of the classrooms, are what we call level 1 technology classrooms. Patrice, there's nowhere else around here that has the facilities that we have. And this is, you know, sparked enthusiasm and sparked interest from people, especially when they come see the facility and they find out just exactly how advanced we are in terms of the technology that we use as part of our method of instruction, all of our classes. I guess the second way that we know that we've grown is that unfortunately from time to time we have to turn students away because we only have so many seats in the building. And the reason I wanted to mention that was as we start our new terms, it's very important for prospective students or interested parties to come early and to get the information and come as soon as they can for registration. We normally open registration about 2 weeks prior to the beginning of our class session. And as Joe mentioned, our class sessions run in 8-week terms. Okay. So it's important to register early.
And I'm sure that we will post a number that you would like folks to call on the screen. Okay. And because I'm sure they'll be starting up in January, so we'll want to get folks that information. Tell us a little bit about the difference. You talked about a level 1 technology center, and you have a TEAL center. Within the Hobbs Center.
Right, correct. And the TEAL, T-E-A-L, stands for Technology Enhanced Learning Laboratory. And basically what that is we have advanced hardware and software located within the TEAL itself. Now we actually have all of the technology in all of our classrooms, but the TEAL is a little larger. For example, we have 30 computer stations. We have 2 large screen TVs in there. Plus we have the control center where the teacher actually controls everything that goes on within that lab at the student computer center. A great example and a story that I've shared with a lot of people, when we first got the technology, and this was in a regular classroom, our students were given some work to do, and there was a young man who decided that he wanted to play solitaire on his computer while everyone else was supposed to be doing what they were doing. Well, what he didn't realize was that part of the technology at the teacher center is that they actually can watch and monitor everything that every computer in the classroom is doing.
I see, so no one gets away with anything like that.
Correct. The teacher can actually send an instant message to the student. They can receive instant messages. The teacher actually took over the computer, which they have the ability to do, and began moving the students' cards around. And that was a real clue that he was off task.
Yes.
And got back on task. But the TEAL is available not only to our students, but it is available to anyone at Pensacola State College. We have a lot of college classes that meet in there. We had just this past week, or last week actually, we had the State Department of Education from Tallahassee over here giving a workshop to all of the local counselors from the 2-county area. We have law enforcement groups that meet there. There's a gang reduction committee that meets once a month in our facility. So that the Hobbs Center is a multifunctional building that is open to the public in terms of college use. Now outside entities can use it if they'll call, and there is, you know, we'll have to go through the system in order to do that, but it's a well-used facility.
And I understand that the students are highly engaged because of the technology, but also because of the teaching methodology that's being used and that can be used. It's interactive. As you said, you know, the teacher and the student are communicating constantly. Tell us a little bit about, share some stories about the engagement of the student learner.
Well, let me mention just a couple of things, and then certainly Joe can have the opportunity to as well. One thing and Joe mentioned this earlier, that we are an accelerated program. And what that means is that a student can come to our Collegiate High School, and in one term, which is 8 weeks, they can earn a full high school credit, a Carnegie credit, in 8 weeks. In a normal environment, that would take 36 weeks. So it has to be accelerated in order to get that much material covered. Now, having said that, and people sometimes wonder, how in the world do you do that where students can keep up? That's where you get into.
That's what I was wondering.
Exactly. That's where you get into individualized instruction as well as blanket instruction for everyone. But we also are sure that we follow the benchmarks that are established by what are called the Florida Sunshine State Standards, so that our students, when they finish a class, do have what they're supposed to have academically to move on to the next class, say in a math situation, or that they are in fact getting a quality education. So, you know, examples of this, we have so many students that come to us once they get into the program, and it takes some getting used to, because obviously our classes are 2 hours long, which is twice what a normal class would be in a public high school. And so once they get kind of accustomed to the schedule, what's really attractive to most of them is they only have to come for the classes they need. So they can come and take one class, or they can take 2 classes, or they can take 3 classes. And so it's an open campus type environment. We operate much like a college environment for our high school students. Now, having said that, we have high expectations of their behavior, of their attendance, and their academic effort. So it is competitive. And Joe?
You know, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. The students find out, because it's an accelerated program, they can earn the credits a lot faster, and hence they'll get done with their credits and get their high school diploma faster. Also, identical to what the public high schools, we have dual enrollment, and by them being on the college campus, they get to walk to other offices and departments, and they can also participate if they qualify in dual enrollment. And of course, the dual enrollment means that they'll take high school classes and college classes at the same time, and the college classes will count for college credit and high school credit.
I have heard examples of students who graduate both from high school
Yes,
and have their AA or AS from Pensacola State at the same time, which is rather remarkable. And taking advantage of that opportunity gives them a real edge, I would think.
It does.
Do you have some student stories you'd like to share where you've seen students who have really been turned on to the learning opportunities in the Hobbs Center, making a difference in the way they perceive learning?
When we look at transcripts, when the students come to us from other high schools, and then halfway through the program or at the end of our program, you look at the difference in the GPA compared to when they first started. And because of the younger generation now, they're all focusing on the various means of technology, you know, the iPad, the iPhone, of course, computers. And once the professors in the classroom get them engaged in the computers, it's just, you see the difference in that that it has on them when they're attending the courses.
Wow, so this MIT TEAL concept came from Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
It actually did. And kind of an interesting story with that, when we first began discussing trying to upgrade our facility to make it state-of-the-art, which is really what we wanted to do. I know that you're aware of this because you worked on this project. I traveled all over the state of Florida during a 2-week period of time, and I visited, of the 28 community colleges at that time, I actually visited 17 of them. And I looked at what they had at the high school level on their campuses, and there are really only 2 colleges in the state of Florida that actually have this identical same type program that we do, that is the traditional high school setting. And the other one is down in Orlando. And when I was in Orlando, I visited the University of Central Florida. And this was the first place that I actually saw a TEAL classroom with all the bells and whistles and so forth. And while I was standing there talking to the people who were the technology people at UCF, they were very proud that they had 2 of those facilities on their campus. And of course, that's a very modern campus. And in our conversations, one of the things that came up, Patrice, was they asked me how many of these facility laboratories were we planning to put in at Pensacola State College. And I said, well, we're planning to put in 17. And they were just shocked that we would, and especially in a high school environment as opposed to the college environment. But again, we were able to do that because of the generosity of a donation that was made through the foundation, which enabled us to be ahead on that.
And it's truly changing lives because of the engagement. The students participate at a higher level. They learn more. The statistics and the transcripts show that they are students who tend to be retained and go on to higher level education and or career fields that are, so they turn into higher wage earners. So that's all about that career ladder. Joe, in your position as a student services coordinator for secondary ed, tell us what you encounter and the difference this is making in the students who are coming to Pensacola State.
Well, as coordinator of student services, we involved with the registration, and made me think as I was listening to you earlier, we had a mother and daughter that started with us in our October term, and of course the mother, I would say, is probably her mid to late 40s, and of course the daughter was, I think, 17 years of age, and so the mother was kind of hesitant when she found out about the technology because she really, in her occupation, did not use computers. And when she found out about the computers, she kind of got excited, but there was a little anxiety also. And of course, it was comforting. The daughter told her, "Don't worry about it, Mom, I'll help you get through it." You know, and usually it's the other way around. You know, the parent is telling the daughter or the child that, you know, "I'll help you get through it." But basically, I'm in charge of doing the registration. And as Tom said earlier, we start our registration 2 weeks in advance or 2 weeks prior to our courses. So we will be starting for getting ready for our January term coming up shortly at November the 1st. And also we'll be registering up until the first day of class in January. And basically we have something we call a new student admissions packet, and it contains instructions, forms that the students need to get from their previous school, and forms that they'll need to get their parent to sign, as well as the student because of our program. And it also tells about testing, what the requirements are as far as testing and admissions. And once we give them that new student packet, then they're off and collecting documents, and they return it to us, and we'll get them directed to our admissions office and actually get them a file in the system here at Pensacola State College, and then we'll set them up for an orientation. And at the orientation, we tell them all about the college, some of the benefits, actually how our program works, the advantages of our program, and answer any questions that they may have. And at that time, we'll also pick out I guess, an academic career, the courses that they'll be taking each term that they're here. And more important to our new students or potential students, they want to know, how long will it take them to graduate?
Yes.
That's probably the most asked question out of all.
Well, and how many graduation ceremonies do we have?
We have May graduation, where we actually have that at the Civic Center, and I think that's the most popular because we also have the college there also and all the other programs. The ceremony that we have at the Civic Center, the students actually wear the cap and gown as they do at the other high schools in their ceremonies, and that's another question that gets asked quite a bit, and you can see the gleam and the smiles on the students' face when they learn that they actually get to wear a cap and gown, walk across the stage, shake the hand of Mr. Leonard or the president, and actually have their relatives and friends out in the audience yelling and whistling and also bringing flowers. And then we have a December graduation also that has that's held right here on campus, and that's for our high school and our GED students. And again, it's a traditional ceremony with the cap and gown, walking across the stage and shaking the hands of the president, and in this case, Mr. Leonard.
Why do you think that students choose to come to the Collegiate High School when they could be in their normal environment, let's say, or have started high school elsewhere? What is the #1 reason?
I would think the maturity and also the environment. we treat them as adults. It's an adult environment, and again, they can actually earn their high school diploma in most cases faster than they would at the traditional high school. Again, I think the number one thing is the environment.
And if I could piggyback off that just a second, we see so many of these young people who have been in the regular public schools, and just to be very frank about it, they kind of don't like some of the things that they see going on. They really just want to get down to business, and so they choose to come to our program. Again, I emphasize that we're not an alternative school. This is not that type of environment. And I wanted to mention just how dedicated some of our students really get when we're in our program. And I recall a young man that we had actually last summer, and he'd come to us from Santa Rosa County and was finishing up his high school career, but he needed enough credits to graduate, Patrice. It required that he would come to school from 7 in the morning to 9 at night, all day, 5 days a week, and then 4 nights a week. And this young man did not miss a single class, and he finished at that term and graduated. And I know Joe remembers him, and we just, we stayed with him, and that's the thing that Joe and Karen Harris, our other counselor, do, is they really do follow these students. And we really do check on their progress because we want them to succeed. That's what we're here for. And we want to give them the tools to succeed. But it also takes, if you know someone's in your corner and someone's behind you, and we may sometimes have to push a little bit, it helps them get through and get the high school diploma, which we all know is so important now. And yes, we do not do the GED program in our facility. That's actually done on a different program on campus. But we really encourage anyone of any age who has not finished high school to come back to school and finish, and be sure to get that high school diploma. We want this experience at the Collegiate High School not to be the end of someone's education, but really the beginning, so that they'll move on to the next phase, which hopefully will be here at Pensacola State. But because we all know, and all of us know, that this is just vastly important in this new world of work that we see in the global economy.
Well, and as you say, they're already in a college environment, so it's a very natural next step. And some folks can be intimidated by, entering into a new environment where it's college and they haven't been there before, and so it can hold them back.
And our students are Pensacola State College students. They may be at the Collegiate High School, but they carry an ID that says that they're a student at Pensacola State College. And they may use all of our facilities, the library facilities, the computer labs on campus, the gym, all the student center. All of these things are open to any student at Pensacola State College, and that includes the Collegiate High School.
Well, that's wonderful. I wonder if we could talk a little bit about our master teacher program that's housed within the Hobbs Center, and what benefit that has for our community, for our teachers who are getting their certificates.
Right. This is another thing that is new and actually begins in January. We entered into a memorandum of understanding with the University of West Florida about 2 years ago to develop a new program, a laboratory type program that will be housed at the Hobbs Center on the Pensacola State campus. And what we intend to do is to take student teachers from the education program at UWF, as well as our education students here at Pensacola State, and expose them to a laboratory experience while they're going through their classes that is interactive with actual live high school students. We have, and it's really unique, and I know you've seen it, we have a classroom within the Hobbs Center which has a one-way mirrored wall that students on the other side can observe what's going on in a laboratory type environment. So we could put a teacher, for example, we could have a teacher and a class having normal class, and the college students can be on the other side of the wall, not being seen, and they can actually observe different things like the behavioral situation that's going on, behavioral management. They can look at the different learning styles that are in the classroom and how the teacher is dealing with making sure that all learning situations are getting what they need to get. And then they can leave and go back to their college class and debrief on what they've seen. All of this also can be taped, because we have cameras in that classroom, and also we have microphones in the ceiling so they can have an audio of what they've heard. The other thing that's really neat with this is we can actually expose the student teacher by putting them in different scenarios that we would know about but maybe they wouldn't know about, and see how they can handle the situation. So it makes for a real good experience.
And it's my understanding that we have exemplary teachers who are teaching our high school students. So it's a great benefit to the student teachers who are looking to become teachers, get their degree and their certificate, and this counts towards the requirements for them to do so, and before it was difficult for them to attain those.
All of our teachers, all of our full-time faculty, and most of our adjuncts are what we call master teachers. They've met the qualifications to be, in fact, a master teacher. And all of our full-time faculty and some of our adjuncts will also be part of the UWF faculty. So it's a cooperative that both institutions have gone and are committed to improve the quality of our future teachers that will be out in the schools, not only here at our facilities, but also hopefully in Escambia and Santa Rosa County. Patrice, there's no other program in the United States like this in an alternative education setting, that is a collegiate high school setting. And so Dr. John Platt, who is working with us very carefully from the University of West Florida, and others have really worked over this last 2 years to develop this program, and we hope to kick it off in January.
Well, it certainly sounds like you have a lot going on. It's very interesting. Do you have any final words for our audience that you'd like to share?
Just want to mention one thing very quickly, and that is that we do have a new program particularly for older high school students, which will be the weekend high school, which will begin on January the 8th. Hopefully some people have seen some advertising in paper and in the newspaper and on radio, but this is primarily designed for people who are 19 years or older who may have to work during the week. And classes will meet every other weekend on Saturday and Sunday. We encourage any of our students who might need that type of program to contact us. Registration begins November 1st. Classes begin January 8th. There is no cost for students to attend.
So registration will continue in December for some period of time, with the classes beginning January 8th. And how would someone get in touch with you, or what a website address is available?
There's actually a couple of ways that students can do that. One is to go to the Pensacola State College website, and there is a link on the website page that will take you to the Collegiate High School. Or they certainly can call our Student Services office, which is
484-2177.
484-2177 is the number to call. And we have a website. We'd like for people to go to the Pensacola State College website. If you want to register, classes are starting January 8th for the weekend Collegiate High School Adult High School. So it's open to all in the two-county area, as I understand it. Okay, well, thank you, gentlemen, both, for being here. It's been a very interesting program. I want to thank all of you for joining us. We'll see you back here next month for another view of happenings at Pensacola State College.